Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. I specialize in games that can be played in 20 minutes or less, and this is my top 10 list for 4-year-old games. All of the games on this list say ages 4 and up on the box, so your child should be set up for success. They should be able to fully understand and enjoy any of the games on this list. I have them listed from universal favorites that are going to be a hit in any household to games with more specialized themes, and then there's a few games at the end if you are hoping you have a future game nerd on your hands. I have the games listed in the description of the video along with the timestamp, so let's get started. First up, we have Animal Upon Animal. It is a HABA game, and if you have a small child, you should check out HABA games. They have a ton of options, and this is one of our favorites. In this game, you have small little wooden animals, and each person has their personal stash supply of animals that they start out with, and you roll a die, and you place them on a central crocodile, and you take turns placing your animals, and you're trying to be the first to have placed all of your animals in a pile. This game is great for many reasons. One, it's super sturdy. They are wooden pieces, and it's a stacking game. Even if your child is very careful, there's going to be some wear and tear. They can handle it. It's very portable. This is a great game if you want to go to a restaurant and do something with your child that isn't just putting them in front of a screen. This is a great choice that they will actually be excited about. This appeals to both boys and girls equally. It seems like animals, cute little animal games are great for little kids. And it's great for fine motor skills. That's a thing that is a big deal. You don't hear about it until you have kids, and then you realize, oh, they've got to be able to do all these small tasks. And this is a great way to do it in a way that is very fun. The rules of the game are very simple. You just roll one die and you're either placing one or two animals, and there's a couple things where you get to either give an animal to your opponent that then they have to place. And it's not that big of a deal if the tower falls down. It's not like, oh, the game's over and you lost. You just keep on going until someone has placed all of their animals. So it's simple, it's intuitive, the theme is spot on, and it's great for every kid. Next up, we have Hiss. Hiss is a game where you have colorful tiles that are different pieces of a snake. There's either the head, the middle, or the tail. Everything is very cute, and you are taking turns placing tiles out into a central plain area, and you're wanting to be the one to complete a snake. So it's both has a matching head, middle part, and tail, and then you get to collect it, and whoever collects the most snakes, and by doing so collects the most tile pieces, wins the game. This game is great because it's so durable. Durable games really are great for this age. It's so durable. Again, it's so easy to learn how to play. It's pretty clear, like, oh, I need to match these up. And it's great for working on color identification, matching, a little bit of strategic thinking. And it's just works well for both boys and girls. It's snakes, but they managed to make them cute. There's a few wild pieces, and I really like how easy it is to set up and clean up. Another big plus at this age, and it's popular for a while. My kids played this at 4, but they still like to get it out and play with it every once in a while, and they're quite a bit older now. My oldest is 9. It holds up for a very long time. Next up, we have Hoot Owl Hoot by Peaceable Kingdom. It is a cooperative game where you are working as a team to get your owls home to their nest before the sun comes up. You get to play different colored tiles out, and that's how the owls move. They move to the spot of the nearest spot of the color you've selected. And if you're strategic, you can kind of leapfrog the owls over each other in order to be extra speedy and get to the nest in time. And I really like this game because it is cooperative. You want to have a good cooperative game in your collection, especially for kids of this age. Sometimes, yes, they should be working on being a good sport, win or lose, But there are times where it's just nice to have everybody on the same team. And if you win or lose together, it's amazing how much that can really help and make it so it's not so tough on a little 4-year-old if they do lose. And it's also great to work as a team. I think it makes it easier to kind of coach, especially if you have older siblings playing with younger siblings. Cooperative games, fantastic for siblings to play together because then you are on the same team, which is what you want with siblings most of the time, so that they can work together. And the game itself, very cute. It feels like Candyland because like that kind of play is familiar, just the going to the next color, but it takes it up a level and there actually is some strategy. So, and again, the owls, all of these games for younger ages that are pretty happily gender neutral. They just do cute animals. It seems like that's mostly the trick. This again works really well for that and for a host of other things. Next up, we have Dinosaur Escape. This is another Peaceable Kingdom game, which means it's cooperative, and this is a game if your child loves dinosaurs and you want to play a memory game that's not just your standard kind of flip over the tiles memory game. In this game, you have 3 dinosaurs around a board and anybody can move any of the dinosaurs, and you're trying to move them around and have them flip over and match to the little tile that is their same picture and to escape to the island of safety before you've rolled enough volcano pieces and then the volcano goes off. Oh no, dinosaurs. I love this game because there's so many kids who love dinosaurs, and if you have the right theme, especially for younger ages, it just draws them in. I also like this game because memory games can be tough, and there are different levels for this where you can have all of the, once you have flipped a tile, it stays flipped over. So that can help if they're a little bit, need a little more help with the memory side of the game. And it's also nicer for adults too. Memory games take a lot of work and they can be pretty tiring to play because it's tough sometimes. And so when you have these other ones that have like a little twist on the memory game that makes it still interesting, but maybe a little bit more forgiving and easier, then something like this is pretty great. And there's only one sort of scary or bad piece in this besides rolling for the volcano to form. There's a T-Rex that you can flip over the T-Rex tile. And all that means is all of the dinosaurs go back to their starting spot. So you still have a T-Rex. That's exciting and cool. Something to be a little bit like, oh no, what am I flipping over when I'm flipping over my tile? But not anything really like scary or bad. And my kids were very nervous about a fair number of games. We didn't like scary elements. They were totally fine with the T-Rex. Kind of loved it. And it definitely added to the game. So, dinosaur lover, a little bit memory, great game. Next, we have Pengoloo, which is another memory game. In this game, you are trying to be the first to have collected 6 of the colorful penguin eggs. And you do this by at the beginning, you put all the penguins out in the middle and they all have different colored eggs that go underneath. And so you just kind of try to put underneath and don't really remember where you've put them to begin. And then you roll 2 die and you have to flip over then, or you pull up 2 penguins and you see if you've gotten the ones that the eggs underneath that match the colors on the die. Pretty simple, and if you get them, you get to put them on your board, and if you get both, like if you roll an orange and a yellow and you correctly collect both of those eggs, then you get to roll the dice again and have a bonus turn, which is very fun. The game, again, I just love memory games with a little twist. It seemed like kids did a lot better playing against siblings for this because it wasn't as much like, oh, you stole my match because of the dice element. Because it's not like, oh, clearly now if you do the normal tile version where you flip over one and you're like, oh, oops, now everybody knows this and this one go together and the next person's just going to snag that. That doesn't really happen in this game because even if like, oh, okay, everybody knows now that this egg was blue and I didn't get it, the next person isn't necessarily going to roll a blue. And then by the time it gets around to blue again, there are enough eggs out there, enough penguins. Are you sure which one it was really under? And then there's advanced versions of the game where you can steal penguins from other people's boards. If you like, we never did that with siblings because nobody ever did well with somebody stealing one of the penguins they had collected from their board. So we just didn't do that. But that's fun if it's a parent with a child and the child has the option to steal the parents' penguins they've collected. That's another fun element of the game. But it's really simple, really durable. Cute little animals are really the ticket for this age, and I love a memory game with a twist, and this is a great one. Next up, we have Spot It. And this is Spot It Junior I'm talking about. There are different age levels depending on the version of the game you get. Essentially, it is a speed game. You get a version of Spot It, and that's the beauty of Spot It. You get the version that you like, the theme that you like for the child, and they will be excited about it and they will want to play. For 4-year-olds, some of our favorite versions are, there's an Animals version, Paw Patrol, Frozen, there's a Pixar version even. And what it is it's a speed game. So you have just a whole bunch of cards with a bunch of different images on the same card. And the general gameplay is you flip 2 out and you try to be the first to find the image that matches on both of the cards. And then you get to shout it out and point at it, collect it, you flip out 2 more cards, and you keep on going. So it's really basic. It's a good first speed game, and you can be as mellow with the speed element as you want, or be more hardcore depending on the age of the child and how well they do, and how far along they are in learning to play the game. You don't even have to play it as a competitive thing. You can say, oh, it's your turn to find the match here, and then you flip over the next 2 cards. Okay, it's the next person's turn. Can we help them find the match? Or, oh, let's let them do it themselves. So it's such a versatile game. They have a bunch of different games you can play and listed in the rules, so you can switch it up if your child just really likes it and wants to try something different besides just the basic flip 2 cards out, find the match. It's in this nice little tin, so it is so portable and easy to take out. And I would say it's a great coffee shop game, but we recently took our version to a coffee shop, and my 6-year-old got so excited he knocked a bunch of stuff off the table trying to go for the matches. So, it depends on the kid. In theory, it should be a calm, easy game to play while you're out at places. But I just love it. It is so easy to bring along. It's so easy to teach. It works for every kid. And thematically, which is really important at this age, you can hit it on the nose for any theme. And especially as they get older. I don't know what the difference is between the 4-year-old versions and the 6 or 7-year-old ones. I think the only difference, like Harry Potter is ages 7 and up. They have a Harry Potter Spot It. And I think it's just because Harry Potter is geared for older kids, so I don't think they wanted to write 4 and up on the box. Because essentially it seems like the same thing. So pick a favorite theme that your child likes, look for a Spot It version of it. It probably exists, and you have an easy, fun game that they will definitely enjoy. Next on this list, we have Unicorn Glitterluck, A Party for Rosalie. This is a cooperative game where you are trying to work together to help the unicorns invite all the friends to the party and get the cute decorations in place before Rosalie comes along. There are a couple other versions of Unicorn Glitterluck games. There's a cloud stacking game. There's a cloud crystal game, and those are competitive, not cooperative. The Rosalie one, it seems to be the favorite from the people that we've talked to, and I just love cooperative games in general. So this is our favorite of the bunch. But really, you can't go wrong if you have a child that loves unicorns, that wants a game. This is just so much unicorn. It's so much pink. The crystals are so beautiful. When I played this at a board game camp, there was one little girl who had a very tough time actually playing the game because she just wanted to sit and admire the cloud crystals for a while. They're bright pink and they are truly spectacular. This is a much needed niche to have unicorn games. There are kids who just love them and will do anything to do with them. It just makes it so fun and happy, and this is just such a fun and happy game. And it's pretty simple but engaging and fun to play. We got this when my older daughter was 6 or 7, and it's an ages 4 and up game. She did not care. She wanted to play it on repeat. It was so splendid. It was all the unicorns she had been hoping and dreaming for in a game, and it fully delivered. So if that's what you need for your 4-year-old, this is your game. Next up, we have Zoo Run. Zoo Run is made by Loki Games. They have a lot of great options for kid games, and this is probably the youngest one on their of their offerings, and it might be our favorite. It's certainly gotten the most gameplay at our house. It is actually 2 games in one. It is Free the Animals is the ages 4 and up game that is in the box, and then if you flip the board over on the other side, you can play Race of the Year, which is ages 6 and up. Free the Animals, what you're trying to do is work as a team. It's cooperative to free all of the animals in the enclosure before the zookeeper makes it. And you do this by, each person is given 3 cards each round, and they're little front and hind ends of animals, and you try to match them up to make the most complete animals, and then you're able to free an animal per one that you matched up. So if you've matched up a panda bear, you can free one, a llama, free one, an elephant. So it's very cute. And it's kind of unique. There isn't a lot of matching games out there along these lines, and my kids love it. It's still my almost 7-year-old got it out this morning and wanted to play. And he it's just really fun, and it's kind of funny. You can make funny animals like, oh, it's a turtle head and a llama bottom. Oh, ha ha ha, it looks so silly. And it takes a little bit of the first few times, it takes a little bit of developing an eye to like, okay, how can I switch this around to make the most matches? And it's fun. It's great for older siblings, helping out younger siblings. Like, oh no, see if you do this and this, you get another couple animals, which is really nice. You want them helping each other and working together. And yeah, you just make enough matches before the zookeeper makes it and free all the animals, and you win the game. So pretty simple, but very fun and unique for a 4-year-old game. And then it's a game they can grow into. Also, they can play the ages 6 and up game, which is competitive, where you're doing the same thing. You have the cards, but you have 4 cards. So it takes it up a level. It's amazing how many more matches you can make with 4 cards. And you pick a character and you're trying to race to be first to finish the race through the same game mechanic. But it's really fun. It's a kind of it's a small board. So it's pretty compact. It's too many pieces. I don't know that I'd play it at a restaurant, but you could if you wanted to because it's pretty small. But a great game, gets a ton of gameplay, and I like that there are both cooperative and competitive options depending on what you want to play. Next, we have My First Castle Panic. The goal of this game is you're trying to capture all of the monsters before they storm the castle. And you do this cooperatively. Each person has their cards out face up in front of them, and you start with 1 card each. And you have a few monsters on the board. They move forward each round, and basically each time you place out a card that matches to your card corresponds to a color and a shape. And that's a spot on the board. And if you have the shape that the monster is in, you can defeat the monster, take it out of the game, and you keep on going until you've defeated all of the monsters. This is very true to the spirit of Castle Panic, the adult version of this game, or just the family version of this game for when your kids are a little bit older. And it preserves all of the fun and the feel of that game, but it's very spot on for a 4-year-old. It's interesting, it's fun. The the amount of time that you use to play is correct for a 4-year-old. Castle Panic just takes a little bit longer and there's a little bit more going on. And man, they can handle all of the elements going on for this. And it's so exciting to get to take out the monsters. And some of the monsters have different powers. One always jumps up to the front of the line. And so you'll think, oh, it's okay. We have a few spaces before any of the monsters getting near to the castle. No, this one jumps to the front and all of a sudden you have a bunch of monsters. And another one will push all of the monsters forward a spot and then add another monster behind it, which are kind of some of the elements you see in the regular game too, but very appropriate for a 4-year-old. And I love that the game has a lot of ideas for ways you can adjust rules or aspects of the game to make it easier or harder, depending on what your child is comfortable with. Some kids are very nervous about the idea of the monsters winning. So you can add in a few elements where there's a few hero cards that you can place that, if you wish, you can have them count for. They have 3 different colors on them, and they're all a square shape. So then in theory, you could take out monsters from 3 different spots if they're all on all those spots. Or they're 3 different shapes with the same color. So the same thing, you could take out 3 monsters at once if you have the right card. So you have those power cards that make you feel really good, and it's a fun, interesting, you have to pay attention and know what's going on, but a 4-year-old can totally do it and handle it and run the whole game if they want. And then there are ways we like to, we still play with this. My 6-year-old loves this game, and we still play this, and we'll add in an easier element and a harder element where you can start with, instead of 3 monsters, you start with 4 of the base monsters, or you take away the castle wall to begin. So, oh no, you don't have the defenses that you normally would. So there's a lot of different ways that you can mix it up and make it the right level of engaging for you and your child. And finally, we have my first Carcassonne. In this game, you are trying to be the first to play all of your little meeples or pawns out on the tile area that you're building. Each player, on your turn, you draw a tile and you place a tile out into the central plain area. So in the spirit of regular Carcassonne. And what you're trying to do then is, once there's a dead end to a path, so once you've created a path that all of the ends are stopped off and it can't go anywhere, any of the pictures of the meeples along there, so if there's like a purple meeple, a blue meeple, and another purple one on the path, then the players get to place their meeples out on those spots. And so you're trying to create paths with your color on it that you then create dead ends for, and that's how you play them out and win. There's a little bit of strategy to this. Basically, you try to put all of your meeples kind of together so you can close them off all at once, or make it easier to close them off. And if you have one with somebody else's color of meeple on it, you kind of put it on the outskirts to make it harder to close off. But you know, for a 4-year-old, there's a bit going on for this game. There's a bit to be able to follow the paths and to get like, oh, where should I place my meeple? Or where should I place my tile that would be the best for me so that I can close these off? Just like the basics of following along and completing paths, that's a bit for a 4-year-old. And to be able to do that successfully, it's very fun. It feels engaging and interesting, and I'm so impressed that they were able to take something like Carcassonne and to get it down to ages 4 and up to be able to play. That's very simplified, and it works very well. It preserves the feel of Carcassonne, but just the right amount of time for a little kid to be able to play. My boys got this out and played it the other night, and they're 6 and 9. And the 9-year-old plays regular Carcassonne, and he really enjoyed it and was excited to play, and it was the perfect amount of time to play before bed. We probably could have walked my 6-year-old through the way to play full-fledged Carcassonne, but it would have taken a lot longer, and he wouldn't have been able to do all of the elements entirely on his own. So I just love, you can do that sometimes, but for most games, if they just really feel successful, and you say, oh, this is very simple, good. Your 4-year-old can handle it. They will like it. It doesn't have to be this brain burner every time. It can be a fun, enjoyable game so that they get to thinking, I just like Carcassonne. I like playing Carcassonne. I'm good at it. And so then when they've been saying that about my first Carcassonne, you can take them to the next level and they'll already be ready for it and they'll do well. So you want them to be successful and do well, even if it does seem very simple, but it's a very good game and spot on for this age. So that's it for my top 10 list for 4-year-old games. A special shout out for Orangutan and Pancake Pile Up. Those are two of our favorite Playdate style games and they're for ages 4 and up. So check them out. And thank you so much for tuning in and we'll see you next time from Game Like a Mother.